The United States is building its largest ever military facility in the Philippines, a move that marks a significant turning point in the region's security landscape. This ambitious project is not just about bricks and mortar. It's a calculated response to the rapidly shifting balance of power in Asia. As tensions escalate in the Indo-Pacific, the U.S. is signaling its intent to remain a dominant force, ensuring freedom of navigation and deterring aggression in some of the world's most contested waters. Strategically located on Palawan's western coast, the new base sits just 160 miles from the volatile Second Thomas Shoal, an area frequently at the center of maritime disputes. Its proximity to the Spratly Islands places it at the heart of the South China Sea's ongoing standoff. This location is no accident. It allows for rapid deployment of forces, giving both the U.S. and the Philippines a critical edge in responding to crises. The base strengthens the U.S.-Philippine alliance, making joint operations more seamless and effective. For the Philippines, the base is a game-changer. It dramatically reduces response times to incidents in contested waters, providing a much-needed counterweight to years of Chinese harassment and encroachment on Philippine territory. For Washington, this facility is more than a military outpost. It's a visible, concrete commitment to the security of its allies and partners. It sends a clear message to Beijing that the U.S. is prepared to defend its interests and those of its friends in the region. The base's advanced command centers and logistics hubs enable swift coordination, allowing assets to be deployed at a moment's notice. This complicates China's strategic calculus, forcing Beijing to reconsider its moves in the South China Sea. After years of uncertainty and wavering alliances, Manila is now turning decisively toward its U.S. partner. The base stands as both a shield against external threats and a powerful symbol of renewed trust and cooperation. This project not only anchors American presence in Southeast Asia but also equips the Philippines with the tools and training needed to better defend its sovereignty and maritime rights. In an era defined by great power rivalry and shifting alliances, collective security is no longer optional. It's essential for the stability and prosperity of the entire region. The Palawan base emerges amid escalating South China Sea tensions, where China's sweeping claims and aggressive tactics have sparked near-daily confrontations. Chinese vessels routinely harass Filipino boats, turning routine missions into high-stakes standoffs, especially at Second Thomas Shoal. The U.S., bound by its defense treaty, has responded with joint patrols and freedom of navigation operations, signaling its resolve. At stake are vital sea lanes, rich resources, and the principles of international law. For the Philippines, it's about sovereignty. For the U.S., credibility. For China, regional dominance. The region's future hinges on how these powers navigate this volatile contest. The new Palawan base is engineered for speed. Vessels can launch within 15 minutes of an alert. This rapid response hub houses modern, agile boats, giving the Philippines unprecedented reach and deterrence in contested waters. The facility includes maintenance, storage, and planning spaces, supporting both local and allied operations. By eliminating the need to sail around the island, the base puts a formidable force right on the front line. The U.S. is investing in practical capabilities, not just hardware, empowering the Philippines to police its own waters. This partnership creates a more resilient, self-sufficient ally and a credible deterrent to Chinese aggression. The base is a force multiplier, transforming the region's defensive posture. Beyond Palawan, the U.S. is racing to upgrade air bases across the Indo-Pacific, recognizing that air superiority is crucial in any conflict with China. The region's vast distances and scattered islands make air power the backbone of any rapid response, and the ability to project force quickly is now more vital than ever. American military planners are acutely aware that the first hours of a conflict could decide its outcome, and so every runway, hangar, and shelter is being scrutinized for vulnerabilities. The Pacific Deterrence Initiative is funding hardened shelters and logistics upgrades, aiming to protect aircraft from missile strikes. These upgrades include not just physical fortifications, but also improvements in fuel storage, munitions handling, and rapid repair capabilities, all designed to keep air operations running even under attack. A recent report warns that Philippine airfields are dangerously exposed, unlike fortified bases in Japan and South Korea. This vulnerability could leave Allied aircraft at risk of destruction on the ground before they have a chance to respond to aggression. Without hardened shelters, Allied air power could be crippled before it even takes off. The lack of protection means that a single missile barrage could devastate entire squadrons, undermining the region's defensive posture in minutes. Congress is pushing for rapid construction, seeking a dispersed, resilient network that can survive a first strike. The goal is to create a web of airfields and support facilities, so that even if one base is hit, others can continue the fight and launch counterattacks. China's missile arsenal threatens every base in the region, making this hardening effort urgent. The sheer range and precision of these weapons mean that no installation is truly out of reach, and the US must adapt quickly to this new reality. The US is now in a race to ensure its forces can operate under fire and maintain a credible deterrent. Training, infrastructure, and strategy are all being updated to reflect the need for speed, flexibility, and survivability in a contested environment. Building resilience is now as important as building firepower. In the face of evolving threats, the ability to absorb a first blow and keep fighting may ultimately decide the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. While the US scrambles to fortify its bases in the Pacific, the scale of the challenge is daunting. American planners are acutely aware that their airfields remain exposed, with many aircraft parked in the open, vulnerable to missile strikes or sabotage. The urgency is clear. Without rapid improvements, US air power could be crippled before it even gets off the ground. Meanwhile, China has spent over a decade methodically constructing a vast network of hardened airfields across its eastern coastline. This effort has been relentless, with new facilities springing up year after year, each designed to withstand the most punishing attacks. With more than 650 reinforced concrete shelters spread across 134 bases near Taiwan, China has created a formidable shield for its air force. These shelters are engineered to absorb direct hits, protecting valuable aircraft from destruction. As a result, China's Air Force enjoys a significant survivability edge, able to keep its jets operational even under heavy attack. This advantage could prove decisive in any future conflict. This extensive infrastructure makes it nearly impossible for an adversary to neutralize China's air power in a single surprise strike. The sheer number and strength of these shelters force any attacker to expend far more resources for far less effect. In stark contrast, the US has managed to add only 2 new hardened shelters in the region during the same period, leaving most of its aircraft exposed and at risk. China's methodical investment in concrete and steel has fundamentally shifted the balance of power in the region, giving it a defensive advantage that is hard to match quickly. This disparity exposes a critical US vulnerability, one that military analysts warn could be exploited in the opening hours of a conflict. The Pentagon now recognizes that even the most advanced jets are useless if they're destroyed on the ground before they can take off. Protecting these assets has become a top priority. In response, the US is racing to close this gap, accelerating construction of new shelters and rapidly upgrading existing bases to withstand attack. American forces are also dispersing aircraft to multiple smaller bases and investing in mobile shelters, hoping to restore deterrence and complicate enemy targeting. The contest is no longer just about who has the best technology or the most advanced jets. It's about who can keep their air power in the fight when conflict erupts, and who can best protect their assets from the very first strike. The regional contest isn't just military, it's also a shadow war of espionage and counterintelligence, unfolding quietly behind the scenes. In March 2025, Philippine authorities arrested a Chinese national and several others on Grand Island, Subic Bay, all suspected of espionage activities linked to Chinese interests. Subic Bay's strategic value is immense, as it controls access to key sea lanes and highly contested areas in the region. In response, the Philippines moved swiftly to militarize both Grande and Chiquita Islands, reclaiming them as official military reservations. This decisive action boosts maritime awareness and counters China's covert influence, showing Manila's resolve to protect its sovereign territory. The episode highlights the multi-layered nature of the competition, military, intelligence, and economic, shaping the region's future. The construction of the Palawan base airfield fortifications and island reclamation signal a region bracing for conflict. After years of Chinese assertiveness, the US and Philippines are taking visible steps to strengthen their defenses. For Manila, these moves are about survival and sovereignty. For Washington, they reinforce its Indo-Pacific strategy. The new base is a strategic foothold and a message to Beijing. Aggression will be met with coordinated resistance. Yet, every new deployment raises the risk of miscalculation and escalation in already crowded waters. The US-Philippine alliance is now a bulwark, but also a flashpoint. The hope is deterrence. but the margin for error is shrinking. The region stands on a knife's edge, with peace and conflict balanced by the thinnest of margins.